Welcome to this training on ISO 105x12. Our focus today is color fastness to rubbing, an important test for textile quality. This session is designed especially for textile testing laboratory technicians. Introduction. Color fastness simply means the resistance of fabric color to change or transfer. In this rubbing test, we check whether color rubs off onto other materials. It's a critical factor for garment quality and customer satisfaction. Scope. This method applies to all textiles, whether yarn, fabric, floor coverings, or pile fabrics. It covers both dry rubbing and wet rubbing, and it's suitable for dyed or printed textiles. Principle. In this test, a specimen is rubbed with both dry and wet cotton cloths. The rubbing machine simulates normal wear and tear. We then compare the staining level using a gray scale. Apparatus. The rubbing tester uses a reciprocating straight line motion. It has two types of rubbing fingers: a crock block, sized 19 by 25.4 mm for pile fabrics, and a cylindrical finger, 16 mm in diameter, for flat fabrics. We also need cotton rubbing cloth, as defined in ISO 105F09. Abrasive paper or wire mesh to hold the specimen in place, and a gray scale for staining, as described in ISO 105A03. Specimen preparation. Cut the specimen to at least 50 by 140 mm. Prepare 2 for dry rubbing and 2 for wet rubbing. One should be along the warp and one along the weft or diagonal if needed. For yarns or threads, knit or wrap them on a card. Both the fabric and the rubbing cloth must be conditioned for at least 4 hours in a standard atmosphere, according to ISO 139. Place the samples separately on a perforated shelf, and always ensure the correct humidity and temperature. Test procedure. General setup. Fix the specimen on the tester using clamps. Place abrasive paper or wire mesh beneath the sample, and make sure the rubbing cloth is firmly attached to the rubbing finger. Test procedure. Dry rubbing. For dry rubbing, use the conditioned dry cloth. Rub for 20 cycles, 10 forward and 10 back. Maintain a speed of 1 cycle per second with a pressure of 9 plus or minus 0.2 newtons. After rubbing, remove the cloth and condition it again. Test procedure. Wet rubbing. For wet rubbing, weigh the rubbing cloth, soak it in distilled water, and then reweigh. Make sure it has taken up 95 to 100% water, or, alternatively, 65 plus or minus 5%. Then perform the same rubbing steps as in the dry test. Drying. After the test, air dry the rubbing cloths naturally. Do not use heat or forced drying, as this may affect results. Evaluation. Place the tested rubbing cloth on 3 layers of white cloth. Assess the staining using a gray scale under standard lighting conditions as defined in ISO 105A01. The staining is rated from grade 1, which is poor, to grade 5, which is excellent. Test report. The test report must include the following: reference to ISO 105x12, the type of rubbing finger used, and the applied force, the type of rubbing, whether dry or wet, and the soak percentage, the conditioning time and test atmosphere, specimen orientation, whether warp, weft, or diagonal, and finally, the numerical staining rating. Associated documents. The related standards are ISO 105A01 for general principles, ISO 105 A03 for the grayscale, ISO 105 F09 for the cotton rubbing cloth, and ISO 139 for the standard atmosphere. Together, these documents ensure consistent and reliable testing. Thank you for joining today's session on ISO 105 X12 color fastness to rubbing. I hope this training has given you a clear understanding of the procedure and its importance in textile testing. If you found this session useful, please share your feedback so we can continue improving our training programs for you.